Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Steve Kenyon Podcast. I'm Steve Kenyon, and as we get ready to head into this weekend, the weekend before Veterans Day, which is Monday, November the 11th, I want to present an encore presentation of an interview we did with Charly Crawford, who is behind the event that is known as the American Heroes Celebration. As we are speaking, as you are listening to this, there is a big team roping clinic going on, or maybe there's a big team roping opportunity going on right now in Decatur, Texas, at the NRS Arena for men and women who have served in the military, for men and women who are first responders, and that is all leading up to Sunday at the Cowtown Coliseum and the 2024 Imus Ranch NFR Showdown presented by J.P. Morgan Chase. That will start at 1 o'clock Central Time Sunday at the Cowtown Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas. If you cannot be there, you can watch the action on the Cowboy Channel. I'll be one of the in-house announcers alongside my friend Farron Lucero. Katie Lucas from the Cowboy Channel will be in the arena conducting interviews. It's a 4-round roping, plus there is an awful lot of other fun that will take place. There's some serious business that will happen. They've given away homes to veterans and American heroes. You can go to the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation website, Liberty and Loyalty Foundation website. You can get tickets. It would be wonderful if we could fill that building up on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock at the Cowtown Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas. So all that said, I wanted to go back. A couple of weeks ago, I had a chance to talk to Charly Crawford, whose brainchild this all is. Charly deflects all the attention to so many other people, but this would not be happening if Charly and Jackie Crawford hadn't bought lunch for some military personnel one day and decided we need to figure out a way to do more, and they started doing more and more and more, and this has, now that Charly's not trying to make the NFR every year anymore, really become an overriding passion in his life. And so we'll get to that in just a moment as our Classic Rope, Classic Equine featured interview of the week. Classic Rope, success is in your hands. Classic Equine, play to win. We are Classic Equine. I want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors. I talked to the folks at the Grandview at Las Vegas the other day, and they say they've still got a few rooms available during the National Finals Rodeo. If you're planning on heading to Las Vegas sometime between December 5th and December 14th, and you're looking for a place to stay, the Grandview is waiting for you right across the street from the South Point. Go to dailymanagementresorts.com. Thank you to Wrangler, to the Justin Boot Company, to Unbeatable Feeds, to M2 Ranch Jerky. Watch for them coming soon on Amazon, and you can order anytime at m2-ranch.com. Resistol, the sponsors of the Resistol Rookie of the Year Award. It's going to be a fun race in the bull riding. 3 rookies are qualified for the National Finals Rodeo. To the Gooding Pro Rodeo in Gooding, Idaho, and to our friends at Next Gen Rodeo. And we want to say a big thank you, of course, to the Cowboy Channel. You can watch the roping on Sunday at the Cowtown Coliseum. The Imus Ranch NFR Showdown presented by J.P. Morgan Chase on the Cowboy Channel at 1 o'clock Central. That's 2 o'clock Eastern, and that's 11 o'clock in the Pacific time zone. So with all that said, let's get to Charly Crawford. And I wanted to share an encore with you of Charly Crawford and what is happening this week in North Texas as the American Hero Celebration is underway. Talking to National Finals team roper Charly Crawford, and there is a big event coming to Fort Worth, Texas, coming to North Texas, really. It'll be all over. I'm looking at the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation website. Charly, how are you?
I'm doing great, Steve. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So we're getting ready for another American Heroes celebration. And it will start on November the 5th, right? Is when it all kind of kicks off with that big NFR roping at Cowtown Coliseum. Charly, this has become a passion for you. I've got this funny feeling you invest as much time in this thing as you used to invest in trying to get to the NFR or close to it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work. It's been good. You know, I've learned a lot through it. Yeah, we'll start off up there at NRS there in Decatur, Texas, and we'll start off there with the clinic on Wednesday and Thursday. So we almost had 100 applications for the Horns and Heroes roping clinic, and that's for people that have never been to the clinic before. So a lot of military and first responders are starting to hear about the clinic. And so that was amazing. And I'm telling you, some of the stories we read, some of you hit you right in the chest. But that has become such a great event. Trey Johnson and I do it. We take 8 headers and 8 healers. And that's kind of how this whole thing started, was having basically a clinic for the military and first responders there at my house. And then it's just taken off from that. And when Trey brings his ministry to the event, that's when this thing has become more than just a clinic. It's become more than just an event.
Yeah, it really has grown. I mean, you and Jackie, we told the story a million times. You and Jackie bought lunch for some soldiers one day and looked at each other and said, what else can we do? And how long ago has that been now, Charlie? I mean, because this has grown into...
That's been 10 years ago this year. Yeah.
Wow. And now all of a sudden you're putting on an almost week-long event for American soldiers, American heroes. You used to call it the military celebration. Now you call it the hero celebration. Let me ask you.
Yeah, we take in military and first responders as well. I just didn't really like how both of them were being treated.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for our military, who knows what language we'd be speaking? And if it wasn't for our first responders, those are the guys we call when we're in a bind.
Yep.
When things happen, that's what keeps my family safe while I'm gone. That's what keeps this country safe. And so it just felt right to include both. And that's where we renamed it the Heroes Celebration. And, I think another thing that's great, too, is a couple of them had called and they want to get baptized after the Horns and Heroes roping clinic. And so I believe Trey is there's a lot of people that have gave their life to Christ, a lot of people who are struggling spiritually, a lot of people struggling with PTSD, and that's where Trey does such a good job bringing that to the clinic and bringing his ministry there where, yeah, it's been taken on just a whole nother meaning.
Wow. Trey's been involved for, the last 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I think Jackie helped me with the first one, and then a few of my partners kind of helped me with the healing. And then I thought, man, who better than have Trey? Trey does great with clinics. He does a lot of clinics also. We do clinics together. But just bringing his ministry, I thought, man, I bet that fits in really well with what we're trying to do. And it did. It took on a whole new life on itself. That's when you could really start feeling like this was more than just a clinic and more than just a roping.
The Horns and Heroes Roping Clinic, November 5th, 6th, and 7th. From the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation website, learn to rope in this free 2-day clinic hosted by Charly Crawford and Trey Johnson. That's at the NRS Arena in Decatur, Texas, which is absolutely a fabulous place, by the way. And then you have something called, it's cool that you're able to get into some place like NRS.
Absolutely. There's cabins that are available, stalls, plug-ins. I mean, everything we need is right there. Everybody there at NRS has been welcome. And I think what is also great about that, too, is, for a lot of these guys, I think we had, I forget how many different states that applied, but it was maybe 40-some states applied. So these guys are coming all over from the country. And so for them to be able to go and walk through the store and see everything that David's done, and, Jason Brooks does such a great job of making sure everyone feels accommodated. And, for them to see the store, a lot of these guys have only seen the catalog. For a lot of these, it's a big experience to be able to walk through that massive store and see everything that they have there at NRS. So it really is a great experience for them there as well.
The guys that are coming, you said there were some stories, and they actually apply now to come and rope. Are they active duty? Are they veterans? Are they all of the above? What are you?
All of the above.
How many of them are they guys that come back year after year after year, or is this a brand new group every year? I forget how this works, Charlie.
So the clinic is a new group every year, and so the roping we have, that's everybody, everyone that's come, since this thing got started. But yeah, those were all new applicants. There was almost 100 people that applied that have never been to the clinic before, and so it was wild, and stories from all over.
Did you ever think you'd get to a point where you had 100 guys applying for this thing?
I didn't know there was that many guys in the military and first responder community that rope.
Yeah.
Found out now.
Well, careful what you wish for, Charlie. You're going to get it.
Well, and that event last year got so big on Friday, we had to extend it another day. We had over 260 teams, I think around 260 teams in the military first responder rope.
Yeah.
And so with one arena, we had to move it. We had to space it out a little bit so it wasn't so overrun.
Charlie, is it too late for guys to apply, or is that all pretty well set at this point?
Yeah, the applications for the clinic is June 1st to July 1st.
Okay.
But the roping we have is for everybody. I invite everybody. Everybody. I invite guys that don't even rope because I can't. We got guys that come, I think, from Connecticut that don't rope. They just come and hang out with their guys.
Really?
There's a lot of guys that are retired policemen, retired military, that come out just to be around their guys. And they'll hang out for a couple days and they don't rope. They just enjoy seeing their guys or being around that camaraderie. So we have a lot of people who just to come hang out.
You know, as a rodeo announcer, and you've heard me do this, Charlie, and we've talked about it. We talk a lot about the camaraderie of the guys that are competing with and against each other in the rodeo business. But why do I have this funny feeling that you could learn a lot about camaraderie from watching these guys who served together in the military and watching these guys who've been on a police department or been in a fire department or something like that together?
Yeah, unbelievable. You know, the closest thing to rodeo that I've seen to military camaraderie is the steer wrestling. Like, those guys have each other's backs. Like, they're rooting for each other, pushing for each other, hazing for each other, letting them on each other's horses. You know, those guys' bond is like more stronger than anybody in rodeo that I've seen. And it's the closest thing I've seen to military. And so on Friday, we have our open roping. That's where we get the guys to come in, and we have a big open roping. We give away 2 spots to the NFR Showdown through the open roping. So guys have got a chance right there to rope their way through to get to the NFR Showdown on Sunday. We have that there, but also as kind of bait. We want the top guys there. That way, after that, we have, which is kind of like a mil pro, but we call it the Military First Responder Pro Roping. That's where the military first responder headers get to draw an NFR healer. And then we do it vice versa right after that. Then we'll have a military first responder pro roping where that's the military first responder healer. So he gets to rope with, say, you know, Caleb Driggers or, you know, the top guys, Dustin and Squeeza. And so that has been unbelievable. So we got 10,000 added for both of them. And so last year for $200 fees, I forget which guy won in the military, and he won like in the head, and he won like $5,500.
Wow.
The healing paid like $4,700 because there's not as many healers.
Yeah.
But, for $200 fees. And they get to rope with them. They get their pictures taken with them. They get to see what it's like to see how fast Junior Noguera can heal one.
Yeah.
You know, that's for a lot of these guys, the experience of that is just mind-blowing for them.
You know, and let me talk about the schedule just a little bit. November 8th and 9th, the Hillwood Land and Cattle American Hero Celebration. And this is all still up at the NRS Arena in Decatur, Decatur, Texas. That's what you're talking about with this big open roping and the military first responder roping. I'm curious, like a header like a Charly Crawford. It's not like you haven't been to the NFR 10 times or anything, or 11. But a header like a Caleb Driggers or a header like a Dustin Agaskiza, they get into the Pro-Am. Are they all of a sudden still trying to throw over the gate when they're riding out, or are they hold? I'm thinking it might be a little different for a header and a healer when they're roping with a guy who's not a pro. Am I right?
Well, they mix it up, so they're going to turn them the first one. Well, if they miss, I guarantee you're fixing to see what Rodeo Caleb Driggers and Rodeo Dustin and Squeeza look like come round 2. You know, so you get a chance right there to see both sides of them. And, you know, they've been coming to the event since it's been started in 2000. And so 4 years, this will be 4 years going into it to where 5 years now. This will be our fifth year anniversary. So a lot of these guys have seen these guys for 5 years. You're starting to see now some camaraderie between the top ropers and the military and first responders. And it's been really cool to see that connection. Because we got guys there that, you know, rope and make a good run. Everyone cheers. We've also got guys that have caught their first steer at the little Pro-Am that we have, the Military First Responder Pro Roping. And they might have caught their first steer. Like, we had one guy that caught his first steer, Jude Jr. That's the first steer he ever caught. And then, of course, the crowd goes wild. You got some guys just that cheered us that they stayed on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got some guys don't ride a rope very good. You know, so I mean, one guy just throws, but he stayed on. Everyone cheers for that too. I mean, it's like an environment and electricity in that room during that that my secretaries have never seen, my announcers have never seen, the flaggers have never seen. They'll come to me after that military first responder pro roping, and they're like, we've never seen anything like this. Like, everyone's cheering for one another. You know, the flaggers are always used to getting chewed out because the steers ain't very good. They get none of that. You know, he's like, the energy here in the arena is unbelievable. You know, the same thing with my announcers. Like, everyone's cheering for one another. My secretaries are like, man, these are the nicest guys. We're used to, you know, getting chewed out because the draw wasn't right or the payout or whatever. Like, there's none of that. Like, they love coming to this event just because it's a whole different kind of culture.
Yeah, I believe it. And I know the one thing that, because I've heard it from some of the guys too. I remember interviewing Paul Eves when the big roping on Sunday was over last year, and you know, he was talking about, you know, the cause and the fact to get to learn more about these guys that have served our country and maybe been shot at or maybe had to shoot back at some point, what they've been through, and they really do develop a relationship.
A lot of them blowed up.
Yeah,
we got a lot of guys in here that have been blowed up. You know, I mean, it's what some of these guys deal with that are just among society that we have no idea. You know, we've got no idea what they're dealing with physically or emotionally.
Charly,
and so that's what's great about this roping.
In addition to being able to help these guys rope, and in addition to them learning about your lifestyle, what have you been able to do? You've given away homes. I mean, you've been able to change lives through this thing.
So on Saturday, we have our military first responder roping. So that's just where they rope with each other. This year, we have $60,000 added to that roping. And so Kinetic Vet sponsored $15,000. Signature Equine Vet add $15,000. So first place this year is going to pay $30,000 or more.
Wow.
Well, we went and hustled out and got back numbers for these guys because the top 15 after the first 3 rounds goes to our NFR Showdown, and they rope during the NFR Showdown. That's when they run their short round tier. So we sold back numbers for $2,000 a piece. Well, I put that money into the pot because we're trying to make it affordable for these guys. So there's $100 fees. You know, basically we take out is just enough to pay for our flaggers, announcers, our cattle, our secretaries. We cut our cost out of there, and that's all we take out. Mm-hmm. So I've been trying to find sponsors to put more money in the pot. So we thought back numbers. Susan Canode helped me with a great idea. It was like, what if we sold back numbers? So we sold back numbers. Well, when they make the NFR Showdown, all 15 guys get paid.
Wow.
So I thought, how cool would it be? Like the military first responder roping will be kind of like trying to make the NFR. So we have a back number ceremony on Saturday night there in Decatur, which I invite everybody to because that's our gala. That's where we got 10 auction items. We have an African bow hunt. We have a chance to be a firefighter for a day. We have you can get in a jet and go fly and in an aerobatic twist. You go hog hunt, helicopter hunt. You know, we've got 10 great items. We've even got a chance to rope in the NFR Showdown. You can actually pay and pick your partner and rope in the NFR Showdown. If you want to rope with Junior Noguera and head steers for him, come here, man. We got it. That was our most popular event or most popular item last year. And if you want to come and heel for Dustin Esquiza, we got you. It's an NFR setup on Sunday. Well, That's where we raise our money. And that's where I thought, you know what? While these guys were fighting for my freedom, let them experience the stuff that I got to do that was so memorable for me. Making the NFR, getting my first back number, getting a rope at the NFR. Well, that's what these guys get to do on Sunday when they rope their short round steer on the Cowboy Channel. They get to feel what it's like to rope a steer in an NFR setup. And so the gala, I invite everyone to because that's where we're able to help. That's where we're able to really make a difference.
Yeah.
Because this will be the fifth home that we've helped build for a disabled veteran. Building Homes for Heroes comes and presents a home. We're able to raise our money on Saturday so we can present the home at our NFR Showdown on Sunday. You know, we've helped with a police officer got killed in the line of duty up there in Decatur. We stepped in. We were able to help that family until they got their benefits. Brotherhood for the Fallen. That's where they come in also, because they help the police force. So if you've been tragically murdered in the line of duty, we step in, we help the funeral cost, we help whatever's left to be able to where you can get by until your benefits come. That family last year was able to come to the NFR Showdown. We were able to honor that family. And, man, Steve.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm telling you, that one was hard.
Yeah, I remember.
That one, it's you're trying to really make a difference down here. But, man, there's sometimes, man, you got to look at some hard things.
Yeah.
And, just the appreciation that family had, that we could honor their husband, their brother, their dad. That was it was pretty special to be able to do something like that for, a guy that, just team rope for a living.
There weren't very many dry eyes in the house when that all happened last year.
That one was hard.
Yeah.
That one was hard.
I'll bet you.
But I tell you what, one of the most energetic one was the guy that got the house. Where we were standing by the buck and shoot, Steve. We couldn't hear what you guys were saying, and there was a dead spot. You could hear your voice, but you couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
Well, when the guy that got presented the home, when he went back up there to the stands, his sister was crying, his mom was crying, and he had no idea what was happening because he couldn't hear it. So he's like, "Why are you guys crying?" They're like, "Oh my gosh, you got a house." And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And they're like, "No, you got a house." And the look on his face was like, that's why I was standing down there, like I couldn't hear it. So his family got to tell him that, and it was on the live broadcast in the arena. And so there's so many good, stories about, kind of how this thing is ran. And so, yeah, that one was amazing. That was, you're trying to take advantage of the gifts that God gave you to be able to do good on this earth. And man, to see that, I was like, that was pretty cool.
I was there in the arena, Charlie. I was helping to tell the story, and I did not realize that he could. I know exactly where that spot is in that arena there at Cowtown Coliseum, where you can't hear anything in the, and I did not know that he could not hear and understand what was going on. That's funny, and that's heartwarming all at the same time. Tell me about Sunday. Tell me about the big roping that you got, the NFR roping. You'll get most of the guys that'll be there.
Yeah. So most of the guys will be there. A lot of the guys are going to be flying in from the Hondo Rodeo.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty dang cool where they're flying in for this. And we got good money added for the NFR guys. It pays $10,000 a man to win it. And we want to put on a show. So we want the NFR guys. We set up the NFR setup. So any team roping fan, man, please come support these guys. And, if I was a kid and I knew the top 15 were going to come get ready for a roping and I was close, I would have been there just to watch it, see it full contact. They run four rounds. So they're going to be getting ready for the NFR.
Yeah.
Well, then we have our ranch rodeo guys that come in. That's like our rough stock event. That is like some of the best watching. They've got 3 minutes to tie 2 steers down and pin one. And whatever they came in with, they got to leave with. So if they lost their hat, their shirt, or their underwear, and I've seen all 3 of them get lost, they've got to leave that arena with them on. They don't have to put them back on. They've got to gather them up and get out of there. And that is that keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
That's a great event.
Yeah.
Well, then the heartwarming, just make you feel good story is when the 15 military first responders, they get to come in during the grand entry. You announce them in. They get to ride behind their branch flags, just like we do at the NFR. Well, then they get to run their short round steer in what it feels like an NFR setup. Same box, same width, might be a little bit shorter, but basically the same feel as the NFR. I want those guys to have that experience. And so when they ring the bell and they win that roping, they get their victory lap around there. And I'm telling you, I know you remember it last year, the guys that won at Oraco from out there in New Jersey and Big John, they won it. They've been there since the start. And you would have known if they won the average at the NFR or my roping.
Yeah.
They took their victory lap. Someone's down there holding their horses. We've got their fully tooled elite saddles down there, the buckles by Legend Tack and Silver. The sponsors are down there. The energy down there on the floor where you're just pumping them up. You and Farron are just getting the freaking vibe going. And, those guys, when Big John won it and he gave me a hug, he about knocked a rib out, Steve. I mean, I'm telling you, the emotion those guys had was like, it was the best rib out I ever had too, by the way. I was like, God, it hurt, but I was so excited for him. You know what I mean? Like, I get to, basically interview him right there and feel what it's like to win that event. What that event means to him.
Yep.
And, so that's what my goal this year, Steve. I wish everyone come buy a ticket. I would love for them guys to feel what it's like when they ring the bell and hear 3,500 people just giving it, all they got. And, that's the stuff you can't buy. That's an experience right there you'll never forget. That's the thing that I've had at the NFR, when you hit a good run and 18,000 people are just tearing the roof off. That's something you never forget. And that's one of the experiences I'm trying to make sure I try to get done for them this year.
Tickets for the Imus Ranch NFR Showdown presented by J.P. Morgan's Chase are available. You can go to libertyandloyaltyfoundation.com, and there's the entire schedule of everything that is on that entire week of events from November 5th all the way through Sunday, November 10th, which, by the way, is conveniently the day before Veterans Day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can find all the ticket information there. Sunday, November 10th at Cowtown Coliseum. The doors open at 11:30 a.m. The event starts at 1. I cannot wait to be a part of this again, Charlie. Thank you for the opportunity to be a part
Steve,
of your open.
I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. You've been one of the guys that have helped drive this thing since I got started. When you first heard about, me doing a clinic there at my house with these guys, you have done such a good job of helping promoting this event. So I appreciate you. And, another thing is too, our gala, a lot of galas have been canceled this year.
Yeah.
The Air Power Foundation, they do the Sky Ball there in Arlington. They canceled it this year. Election, inflation, guys are tightening up. But we decided we're punching through it. I trust the Western industry. I know the Western industry. We don't let our guys down. And so I know that, anybody that wants to come and support this, please come to our gala, because people don't quit suffering because inflation's down or inflation's up. People don't quit suffering because, it's an election year. So, man, I invite everyone to come out and let's try to help these guys as much as we can. And Steve, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on your podcast, buddy.
That gala, by the way, is on Saturday, November the 9th, and it will be at the Decatur Conference Center in Decatur, Texas. And again, tickets are available, Liberty and Loyalty Foundation, and you can purchase your tickets. Charlie, before I let you go, who's the featured speaker at the gala this year? Last year, the man that was the featured speaker was, I think, a retired Air Force. Am I right? And he was awesome.
Yep.
Who's coming this year?
So do you remember the guy he was talking about?
Yeah.
Horny?
Yep.
So the guy he was talking about is going to be our guest speaker this year.
Oh, really?
So how cool is that, where he kind of like introduced him? And remember when he was sitting there and he was like the guy that was standing there and he talked to him? He's like, and that turned out to be the guy that he helped get to where he needed to be.
Todd Hornbuckle is the guy's name this year.
Todd Hornbuckle.
Yeah.
So Todd's going to be there. I thought, man, what a great introductory into having Todd come in. And he's got a great story. I did a podcast with him the other day, and such a great guy, great story. Team roping advocate, loves it. And, he was a Navy fighter pilot. And so basically Top Gun, that was him, man. And so, he's going to be our guest speaker. And, I'm not going to leak this out too much, Steve, because it's still in the works. But he told me he's going to try to make it. Now, the key word's try. So I'm really hoping we have a really big name coming on Sunday to come rope at the NFR Showdown, and he gets to pick whoever he wants to rope with.
Really?
And he may or may not be a really, really big country singer.
Really?
So really excited. He said he might just bring his tour bus on over there from a little spot he was singing at to come hang out with the guys and come rope. So, now, like I said, I'm really hoping we can get it done, because that would be awesome.
I know the first name that popped into my mind, but I'm not going to say it. But we will see what we shall see. That's it. That could be kind of fun on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Okay,
so,
cool. Liberty and Loyalty Foundation. That's where you can go to get all the information, libertyandloyaltyfoundation.com. Building Homes for Heroes is the organization you partnered with on the homes, right?
You got it.
Yeah. Charlie, I appreciate it.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Steve. Thanks, man.
Stay in touch. Let me know what I can do to help.
You You got it, buddy.
Charly Crawford joining
See you
us.
guys Sunday.
The American Heroes Celebration, November 5th through the 9th in Decatur, Texas. And then the big Imus Ranch NFR Showdown presented by J.P. Morgan Chase. You'll get to see at least most of, if not all, of the top 15 team ropers headed onto the NFR as part of a great day of roping at Cowtown Coliseum. And I agree with Charly. It would be absolutely awesome if that building were completely full to the rafters, and we could make it loud and just light it up. I think that would be one of the best things that we'd see all year. And it's going to be televised on the Cowboy Channel, right?
You got it. I think only one team. I think Derek Begay's not going to be able to make it. And Eric Rogers, because they're out there in Arizona.
Got it.
So other than that, I think everyone there is going to be there. So it's going to be a great roping. It's going to be a great cause, and it's going to be a lot of electricity in the room. It's going to be some heartwarming stories. Like I said, I'm excited. Katie Lucas is coming to broadcast it as well on the Cowboy Channel. Really excited about that. She's a team roper. She's so intimate with roping, and excited to get some of those stories out there. So, it's going to be a great year.
Awesome.
Steve, thanks for everything you've done, and can't wait to hear you announcing it.
Thank you, Charly. We'll see you soon.
You got it, buddy.
Charly Crawford, the man behind the American Heroes Celebration, which is taking place right now in North Texas. Sunday, if you can come join us, please do, at the Cowtown Coliseum, 1 o'clock Central Time. Most of the top 15 teams of team ropers will be there. There are one or two that will not be able to attend. It's going to be a great day of team roping, a great day for the men and women who served us both here at home, our first responders, and overseas in our United States military. Our featured interview sponsored by Classic Equine and by Classic Ropes. Thank you to Wrangler, to Resistol, to the Justin Boot Company, to the Grandview at Las Vegas, to M2 Ranch Jerky, to Unbeatable Feeds, to the Gooding Pro Rodeo in Gooding, Idaho, to Next Gen Rodeo. You can watch Sunday's festivities live on the Cowboy Channel beginning at 1 o'clock Central Time in the afternoon. And we do hope that you will join us. I'm Steve Kenyon. We'll do this again 2-3 times a week now on the Steve Kenyon podcast. God bless everybody.